Wonderless, wonderless, wonderless news. It's wonderful. It's marvelous. That's Wonderless. I'm Hoyt Christopher, and this is the podcast that gives you a good dose of happy, uplifting, positive, make you feel good news, because we can always turn on other news channels to get some of that information that keeps us up to date with what's happening in the world and our community that's not so great. But this news podcast, Wonderless News, focuses on the positive and the good. So let's get right to it. The first one, the highlight show or segment for today, is about a McDonald's customer who went through the drive-thru in Indiana, and he ordered a sausage McMuffin with egg. Delicious. I like them. I like the egg McMuffins more. The bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, and we can go on and on, right? I mean, the hash browns are the bomb. So we know how breakfast is at McDonald's if you've been living here long enough on this planet and in the U.S. So he goes in to get a sausage breakfast sandwich, and when he drives off, he opens up the bag thinking he's going to eat some delicious McDonald's. Instead, he finds thousands of dollars. What happened was they had been collecting all the money from the till, from the cash register at McDonald's, and they had put everything into different bags, and they put it into a McDonald's bag. And the lady at the drive-thru gave him the wrong bag, right? She kept the McMuffin or whatever, and he took the cash. So he makes a video on TikTok. It goes viral. He's like, I can't believe this. I could really use, there's like over $2,000 in cash. I could really use this, but I'm a good guy. I don't want, it's not McDonald's. Not McDonald's itself isn't going to suffer, right? It's the employees. These employees are making minimum wage. And, if McDonald's managers and general managers and owners think that someone's stealing, then bam, they could get fired. So he actually ends up returning the money. So he goes back in to the McDonald's and he videos it. So it's on TikTok. He walks back in and he says, "Are you guys laundering money? What's going on?" And he shows them the bag, and they've been scrambling around looking for it. So clearly, as soon as they hand him the bag and he drove off, they're like, "Where's that bag? Where's all the money?" And he gives it back to them. They're giving him hugs. They're so thankful. When he leaves, they end up running back out. They give him like $200 cash. They say, "Look, dude, here's $200. I know it's not the thousands that you had the opportunity to take, but you didn't. But also, how about free McDonald's here at this store for a month?" So he's like, "Dude, I'm stoked. I'm, getting free McDonald's for a month. And I've got a couple $100 extra that I didn't normally, they didn't have before." So good feel good story. McDonald's, come on, guys. Like, just what would you do, right? That's what we think about is we could all use a little extra money. A couple $1,000s can change someone's world for a day, a few weeks, a month. And interesting, and really a good feel good that this guy decided, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take this money. I'm going to give it back. So what a great story. Again, wonderful, marvelous. Hats off to this guy in Indiana for doing that, and probably saving a couple people's jobs. So not bad. All right, so let's see. Second news article of the day. So this homeless lady, she has this dog, and she's in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, and she can't keep it. She can't keep the food, can't keep giving it food and everything else. So she ended up dropping the dog off at the homeless shelter. She just couldn't afford to take care of it. And what happened was, she missed the dog, of course, right? Who wouldn't? I've never had to leave a dog at a shelter. I don't know what that's like, but I've had many animals, and you get really attached to them. And they become part of your world, part of your life. And being homeless, I'm sure this was really a very important friendship and relationship that she had with this dog. So she did the right thing. She gave it to the shelter, said, "Look, I can't take care of it anymore. I can't afford to. I need what's coming in for me. Can you please help me and take care of the dog?" And they did. Well, happy story turns around because she ended up getting into a better situation and they found her and got her the dog back. Yeah. So, she got a chance to get this cute little dog back, and the dog's name is Lilo. So this homeless lady, she had to leave the dog with the animal shelter. What she did was she actually left a note on Lilo the dog and then left, right? She was embarrassed probably. So here's what the note says. It says, my name is Lilo. So she had that on the dog. Please love me. My mom can't keep me and is homeless with 2 kids. She tried her best, but she can't get help. I cost too much for her. She really loves me, and I'm a great dog, and I love to be loved on. Please don't abuse me. Oh, that's so sweet. So this note was left on the dog. The animal shelter took her in, and what they did was they found the homeless lady and her kids, and they actually got them help. So they are actually receiving some money and some benefits and a place to stay. So now she has Lilo back. What a great story. That note says it all. Selfless. And sometimes that's what brings us the most joy. The most wonderful, marvelous, positive emotions is giving something of ourselves, giving something to someone else that we didn't, we wanted for ourselves, right? And she wanted her dog, but she had to make a choice, and she did so. And now she's getting the help that she needs, and she's reunited with her dog. So another great, wonderless, marvelous news story, a wonderless news story. Our sponsor, our good old sponsor, is Rise by Shaman Angelina. That's right, Rise by Shaman Angelina. She is amazing. She's been making these handmade coastal jewelry items, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful items. So she collects the sea glass and all these different stones from the beaches down in Southern California. She's a shaman. She's been doing that for a number of years. So what that means is she blesses these stones with energy and makes them powerful, makes them positive, and they're just gorgeous in sterling silver. The necklaces are sterling silver. The settings are sterling silver, and every piece is different. She's got blue glass, green glass, amber colored glass, red colored glass. Phenomenal pieces. Her Etsy marketplace is risebyshamanangelina.etsy.com. So again, that's RISEBYSHAMAN Angelina ANGELINA.etsy.com. Her website still being built up, but maybe it's live by now, is handmade, one word, coastaljewelry.com. So she does readings, $100 an hour. She records them on Zoom and then provides you with a link of that recorded reading so you can keep it for later to look at and keep in touch with sort of what happened and what was laid out in that reading for you. Great work, a lot of great reviews, and the jewelry is just amazing. The jewelry is really well priced for being handmade and as gorgeous as it is. Anywhere between $25, $30 up to not even $100. So beautiful pieces. They all come with your own little personal fortune. Delivery on Etsy for most of her items is free. So check it out. Again, it's risebyshamanangelina.etsy.com. Wonderful stuff. Can't say enough about this fantastic sponsor of ours. Okay, so we are back to Wonderless News, the podcast that gives you all the good, positive, feel-good stories that we all need. Need some love in our worlds, need to feel happy. Sometimes, a couple minutes, 10, 20 minutes a day. And sometimes we need someone to talk to. Sometimes we just actually need someone to listen. Sometimes it's not even a conversation. It's just, if I could just get this off my chest and tell you how I'm feeling right now, maybe I'd feel better. And that's exactly the case of this next segment. So in the UK, this barber shop and the barbers there, they have seen that their time spent with these youth, these black men that need to get a haircut and stay on top of things. They really need someone to talk to. So the title of the story, this is coming from positive.news, how black barbers in London are giving poor mental health the chop. And what they mean by that is these barbers are sitting down and yes, they're cutting these young men's hair, but at the same time they're listening. They're listening to them talk about what's going on in their life, what direction they're going, how they want to, be somewhere else or do more with their life, and how they need help. I go to a barber and I talk to my guy. We talk. We don't get real personal, but I think that depends on where you're at in your life, and maybe if I was a little bit younger and going through some of the stuff that these guys are going through, which I probably wouldn't and exactly go through all that. Or haven't, I would want someone to talk to as well. And these barbers are doing a great job and a great service to help them out. I'm just reading it as I go too, just to let you know, it's not, he says, I'm quoting, I'm not just cutting hair, it's a counseling session. And that's how in-depth to listening they're going. So, again, what a great story that there's people out there that are giving their time, their service, their money to help, individuals that need it, whether it's just listening or providing other support, to them. So something for us all to think about. Sometimes we just need to take a pause and give to those around us, even when it's the hardest for us, right? The hardest. That's tough. It's easy to give sometimes when you're getting, right? Doesn't it feel like when you've got money coming in, you've got love coming in, people are appreciating you at your job and your family, your life, your friends. It's easy to give when things are tighter financially, with work, maybe it's more difficult, more challenging. It's harder to give. It's harder to give that last couple bucks in your pocket if you know that there's nothing else after that or even less coming. Whatever it is, this is part of what I think being positive and happy and trying to look at the good things in life. This is a good story about that. And it's a good lesson for us to give a little bit. Give a little bit to our friends or family or whoever when it's not as easy. That's the challenge, right? When it's not as easy. So good story. Keep cutting and keep counseling. As always, we like to end the show with a positive story of one of our listeners, subscribers, or in this case, it's going to be me today because I haven't received any of those news stories from all of you. So again, send me whatever you can about a wonderful news, something that happened wonderful in your life. It could be to you, to a community member, family member, friend, colleague, wherever you are. You can send it to wonderlessnews@gmail.com. That's WONDERLOUS news, NEWS @gmail.com. That's also the name of the website. So it's wonderlessnews.com. You can reach me there. Also subscribe to the podcast, and that way we can stay connected. I can send you information that's up and coming. And you can obviously share those stories, share pictures, share information, share a video, short, simple, of anything wonderful that's happened that you'd want me to mention on the show. So let me mention mine. Mine is, I had a dog. It was an old English bulldog. His name was Cooper. My wife and I took him in when he was very young from an owner that had him that just couldn't keep him anymore. And he was just like any other bulldog. If you don't know, bulldogs are just big and goofy and clowny and oofy, and they're sweet and wonderful, and they slobber, they drool, they do everything, right? And they like to sleep a lot when they get older. Well, he was probably 3-4 years old, maybe 4 or 5. So he was getting older for a bulldog, and my son was born. And when you're introducing a child to a dog in an environment that the dog is, become very accustomed to, it's their tribe, it's their pack. The vet recommended just bringing home like a blanket from the hospital before you introduce the baby and let the dog smell it. And so we did all that, and he smelled the blanket, and he was very curious, very, very curious of, this little thing, this new little person that, didn't speak, just cried, and, we held and so forth. So as our son got a little bit older and we introduced him to the dog a little bit more, and they started to bond however a child and a dog can bond that don't communicate more than that. What was interesting is that as my son was in his high chair, when he started eating out of a high chair, he would, of course, spill food over the side. Well, talk about just, it was glory. It was like, it was like gold falling from the sky, money falling from the sky. My dog was just ecstatic. He could eat all the fresh droppings of food that my son didn't eat. And I think with that, I think there was this bond. I think this bond sort of happened. And as my son got a little bit bigger and was crawling and then was walking, they really started hanging out. And this segment is in some ways a dedication to this dog because he was so wonderful and kind and caring to my son. But this one story is a very simple moment that I had, and it happened a couple more times after that, where my son would like to just hang on top of the dog, hang over the dog and hug the dog and lay on top of it. And not every dog likes this. So this doesn't work for every dog, but this dog was okay with it. And it was just wonderful to see. It was wonderful to experience that. And something that my wife and I took away, and it's a great memory. And maybe you have ones like that. It can be as simple as something that happened with your family, with the dog or a brother or sister or anything it is. But again, puts a smile to your face to see that and that sort of engagement, and to experience that with an animal and one of your kids. So that's my segment, my personal story. We're going to let this go, and we'll see you on the next Wonderless News segment. I am Hoyt Christopher. Have a wonderless day.